Every few years, a new cartridge is introduced that promises to change everything: flatter trajectory, less recoil, higher velocity, better ballistic coefficients. The marketing language evolves, bullet design improves, and shooters debate numbers endlessly. And yet, despite all of that innovation, one hunting round continues to show up in deer camps, elk camps, mountain hunts, timber hunts, and northern moose country across America. It has existed for over a century. It predates polymer tips, the Magnum craze, and the modern obsession with extreme long-range ballistics. And still, it refuses to disappear. The hunting round that never goes out of style is the 30-06 Springfield. To understand why, you have to separate nostalgia from physics. The 30-06 is not popular because it is old. It is popular because its performance window aligns almost perfectly with the realities of North American big game hunting. Introduced in 1906, it began as a military cartridge, but hunters quickly recognized something unique about it. It wasn't extreme, it wasn't specialized, it was balanced. And that balance is exactly what has preserved it through more than a century of ballistic evolution. Start with bullet weight flexibility. Few cartridges offer the usable range that the 30-06 does without compromising stability or efficiency. Factory loads commonly range from 125 grains all the way up to 220 grains. That range is not just a marketing detail, it dramatically changes the cartridge's behavior. A 125 or 150 grain load produces flatter trajectory and lighter recoil, making it extremely effective for whitetail deer and pronghorn, where moderate distance and precision matter. Step up to 165 or 180 grains, and you enter the sweet spot for general big game. These weights provide improved sectional density, better penetration, and retained energy while keeping recoil manageable. Move further to 200 or 220 grains, and the cartridge becomes a serious penetrator capable of driving through heavy muscle and bone on elk or moose. Very few cartridges adapt this smoothly without pushing into recoil levels that many hunters struggle to control. Velocity in the 30-06 typically ranges between 2,700 and 2,900 feet per second, depending on bullet weight and barrel length. That moderate velocity is often misunderstood in today's high-speed environment. Modern magnums may exceed 3,000 feet per second, and newer cartridges often advertise extreme velocity as a performance advantage. But speed alone is not effectiveness. Excess velocity can cause rapid expansion at close range, especially on heavy bone, reducing penetration depth. The 30-06 moderate velocity paired with meaningful bullet mass promotes controlled expansion rather than violent fragmentation, and controlled expansion is what produces reliable penetration into vital organs. Energy retention further explains the cartridge's longevity. With a 165 or 180 grain bullet, the 30-06 maintains sufficient impact energy well past 300 yards. Most big game in North America is harvested inside 400 yards. Within that envelope, the 30-06 operates comfortably inside ethical thresholds for deer, elk, black bear, and moose when bullet selection matches the animal. It does not depend on extreme velocity to remain lethal. Instead, it relies on mass, sectional density, and momentum. Wind drift is another topic frequently debated in modern cartridge comparisons. High ballistic coefficient bullets in newer designs may show slightly reduced drift at extended ranges. However, when firing 165 to 180 grain projectiles with modern aerodynamic profiles, the 30-06 remains highly competitive within practical hunting distances. In real hunting conditions, wind estimation error often exceeds minor ballistic advantages. A disciplined hunter with a 30-06 is not meaningfully disadvantaged in realistic field scenarios. Penetration is where the cartridge continues to earn trust. Sectional density in 180 and 200 grain bullets supports reliable straight-line penetration. When paired with bonded or partition-style bullets, the 30-06 consistently produces exit wounds on large-bodied game. Exit wounds matter because they improve blood trails, shorten recovery distances, and reduce the risk of losing animals in dense timber or uneven terrain. In northern forests, brushy creek bottoms, or steep mountain slopes, penetration reserve is not a luxury, it is insurance. Recoil must also be addressed honestly. The 30-06 produces more recoil than lighter cartridges like the 243 Winchester or 6.5 Creedmoor, but significantly less recoil than Magnum cartridges such as the 300 Winchester Magnum or 338 Winchester Magnum. This middle ground recoil profile is part of its enduring appeal. Excessive recoil degrades practical accuracy and can lead to flinch development. Too little recoil can correspond with insufficient penetration margin for larger game. The 30-06 sits in a space where recoil is noticeable but manageable for most hunters with proper rifle fit. Another reason the cartridge never fades is availability. Ammunition is widely produced by nearly every major manufacturer. Bullet options include traditional soft points, bonded bullets, partition designs, and monolithic copper projectiles. That diversity allows hunters to tailor performance precisely to species and terrain without changing rifles. A single 30-06 rifle can handle whitetail in the Midwest, elk in the Rockies, black bear in the Appalachians, and moose in northern provinces. Some argue that modern cartridges outperform the 30-06 in specific categories. That argument can be true in isolation. Some shoot flatter, some offer slightly reduced recoil, some provide marginally better wind resistance, but very few cartridges maintain competitiveness across all categories simultaneously without introducing meaningful trade-offs. The 30-06 may not dominate any single metric, but it consistently ranks near the top in nearly all of them. Shot angle forgiveness further reinforces its practicality. Real hunting does not always present perfect broadside opportunities. Quartering shots happen, shoulder impacts happen, steep angles happen. With heavier bullet weights, the 30-06 provides enough structural authority to break bone and continue through vital organs. That forgiveness provides margin when real-world conditions complicate perfection. Barrel life is another practical advantage. Unlike overbore magnums that accelerate throat erosion due to extreme velocity and powder volume, the 30-06 operates at moderate pressures. That contributes to respectable barrel longevity and long-term accuracy consistency. Hunters who practice regularly benefit from that durability, reinforcing familiarity and confidence over time. Ultimately, balance is the defining trait. Hunters often gravitate toward extremes: ultralight recoil or magnum power. The 30-06 exists between those poles. It provides authority without punishment, reach without dependency on extreme velocity, and penetration without requiring specialized equipment.